All right, so now that you're out, tell me every secret of Bill Belichick, starting now. Go for it. What do you got?
Now, I wish I knew. So I guess his biggest secret is that somehow he finds a way to keep winning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So help me. Why doesn't he name coordinators? Can you help me with that one, Jason? Did you see yesterday he finally put titles to the new coaches' names, and none of them are coordinators? Like what? What happened? What? Can you give me any insight on that at all, Jason?
I did see that. I know for my 3 years being there, like title never mattered. So I think for him, I couldn't tell you exactly why the press releases go out and they don't have anything. But for when you're in the building, there's always going to be a consistent person in front of the room talking to you, whether it's Bill standing up in front of the squad meeting, whether there's been times that he's been the same person to stand up in the defensive meeting rooms, or whether it's Steve or Mayo or whoever's going to be standing in front of the room on the offensive side of the ball. The one thing you knew as a player when you walked in, you knew who was going to be standing in front of you. You knew what the plan was going to be each and every week, and you knew what you needed to do to execute it. So I think for him, he doesn't really care about those titles and things because he looks at it as it's more for other people to talk about, because within the building, it's just not important. Now, for those coaches, I don't know how they feel when you go to negotiate your next deal and the title's not there. That's a whole other side of the business that I wasn't privy to.
So, but everybody there in that building clearly knows, as they are arriving for training camp as a team next Tuesday, everyone knows who's calling the plays this year, right? Everyone does know that by now, right? Or no?
For sure they know on defense. I don't know if they know on offense. I'm sure Bill and those guys know, but I don't know if that's part of still figuring out what's next. I can't even pretend like my 3 years of experience in that building leads me to know the answer to that question. So I'd be lying if I said, oh, yeah, for sure they do know. But I think the one thing that those guys probably know walking into that building and start a training camp is that they're confident in that whatever the plan is going to put them in the best position to win.
And what does the Patriot Way mean? I mean, the do-your-job way that might have been different in all the other stops from Tennessee, Cleveland, and Miami for you in your 13-year career, Jason McCourty. What's the difference?
You know what? I've never been big on the whole, like, Patriot Way as if, like, you walk in, they hand you a book of, like, do's and don'ts of what the Patriot Way means.
Right.
For me, I know when I first got there, the one thing that I thought stood out to me was Bill's ability to put a roster together beyond just X's and O's. Like when we walked in that locker room, the chemistry and the camaraderie that was built around players was huge. And I think there's something to that when a coach, Bill's coach / GM, when you can look at a team and you know, hey, I may need a receiver, but personality-wise, experience-wise, who's the guy that's going to fit perfectly within my locker room? I think that helps build what you call the Patriot Way. My years there, when you have guys, obviously everybody talks about Tom. We know how great he is and what he brings to the table. But when you have guys like Devin McCourty, Julian Edelman, Matthew Slater, these are guys that dictate what goes on in the building. And obviously it started with the Willie McGinnises and the Rodneys, the Lawyer Malloys, so many guys that came before them. But to me, that's more or less what it means. And then, as you know, when you've worked in the league for a while, organizations go through transition and different things at different times. The one thing about New England for the past 20 years has been consistency. Everybody within that building is moving in the same direction. There's no egos involved. There's no, well, why am I not doing this? Why is he doing that? Everybody knows what the goal is and the vehicle in which we all need to be in to get there.